Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I've got something special for you. Okay, today we're going to be going over the new best sorceries. I mean, some of these are absolutely incredible. Okay, they've nerfed some stuff and they've buffed some stuff that wasn't good that is now pretty good, and stuff that was pretty good has been buffed even more. So let's get straight into this. I'm going to be telling you the best spells, the best sorceries for any mages out there, and you're going to be using these straight away. So let's get into number one. Now, coming up first on our list is the Glintstone Comet Shard. Okay, this thing I believe is going to be a great common standard default spell. Okay, whatever you want to call it. Across the board, it's great. It's got great damage. It's got, the FP on it is low. Okay, and obviously, it was all right before, but now, it's received higher damage and the lower FP cost. So just making it even better. It is a great default option. And also, spice up a little bit. Has a small AoE effect. Okay, that means, if enemies are really bunched up, okay, you are going to get some damage off on them. But, it's small. It's not, doesn't really make it or break it. Okay, it's just a little extra nice thing added on there. Now, I currently don't have any videos on my channel on how to get any of these items I'm going to list. I'm going to have it coming out tomorrow or the same day. Haven't really figured it out yet, but if it's out, please go show us some support. Would mean the world. But if not, go check out some other guys on YouTube. And yeah, moving on to item number 2. Now, spell number 2. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Okay, it's the Collapsing Stars. Okay, this was great already. This was pretty decent already, and they went and gave it a damage buff, and it is already a very FP efficient spell. So something you definitely want to get your hands on. Okay, this is really efficient, and it's going to be really good in PvP because it's got the fast group of stars that they're going to be really hard to dodge, and I'm not even sure if you can. Most of the time people are just they're not going to be ready for it because they come at you really fast, and there's so many of them that it's it's crazy to dodge. So really good for PvP and a great option for PvE as well. Something you definitely want to get your hands on. Next up, we have got the Crystal Barrage. Okay, this before it wasn't great. It didn't do any damage really, and it had a lot of FP. Now the FP cost is the same, but at least it can be backed up by the insane amount of damage this thing does. Before, the damage was terrible, and now the damage is great. Okay, this is going to be really something you want to use when you're in like a decent amount of time between an enemy attacking you, where you can just lay in this damage. Best way to do this is with your mimic. If your enemy's hard stuck on a mimic, you can just lay in the damage, and it's not going to attack you. Don't want to promote my stuff, but there is a video on my channel with a great talisman that is going to allow you to just not get hit at all. Okay, and you basically need mimicked it, and this talisman, you wear it, and it just basically the enemy will just continuously attack the mimic. And this is going to be great for the Crystal Barrage, is you're not going to be getting attacked, and you could just lay in the damage. So now that's over, we can move on to the next one. Now, next up, okay, this is a personal favorite. Okay, the spell of subscribing to the YouTube channel that you're watching right now. Okay, this is basically a really cool spell, as basically you cast it and it boom subscribes you to the channel that you're watching. And I'm just kidding. Okay, we've actually got the Gravel Hammer. I don't know how you say this. The Gravel Hammer. Yeah, I'd realized that I'd actually spelled it wrong in my notes, and it's the Gavel of Heimer. So that's as close as it's gonna get. It's a lot better than what I was saying before. Okay, so just clear this up now, and you can stop taking the piss. Basically, it's a big hammer. Okay, basically what this thing has is got a massive FP reduction in it. Okay, before it used to be 50, now it's 25. Let's say you've got 100 as your default, and now you can do 2 times the amount of attacks. It also has a really good chain on it, so you do 1 attack, and then you can do another one that chains up, and that's pretty good. You can do that twice now instead of once. It's great for clearing a large amount of enemies and deals a lot of poise. So if you're doing it to bosses, okay, this is going to be great getting the poise damage in. And it's pretty good for PvP as well, because it catches off the enemy, and then obviously you can chain it with another attack, and that's going to catch him off as well. And it's got a boatload of damage on this thing, so at least it can be backed up now, and you don't have to be draining your FP. So Gravel Hammer. Yeah. Okay, up next, okay, this is going to be insanely powerful. Okay, this spell is going to be insanely powerful, but in the right scenario. Okay, and that scenario is going to be against big targets that are slow, or if they're just stuck fighting something else and they're not going to be moving for a bit. Okay, this is the Founding Rain of Stars. Before this was all right, but it had a very high FP cost, and now it's got a reduce of 14 FP to it. So I believe now it's around 32, if I'm not mistaken. I can't particularly remember. But basically, this rains down a boatload of stars, and the damage this thing racks up is insane. Okay, it's got, you know, it's one of the most efficient damaged FP spells in the game. Okay, you know, in the right scenario, this thing is going to be chucking down bucket loads of damage. Okay, and I mean literal like bucket loads of damage. Okay, you're going to be seeing buckets falling from the sky. Well, they're stars, but you know. All right, okay, I've got one here for you. PvP goons. Okay, it's going to be the Carrion Piercer. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got that right. Basically, this thing is going to be great for chain knocking people. Okay, at the end of like rolls, dodges, or is there like, you know, it's great to interrupt and stagger them, and you know, obviously, you know, that opens them up and allows you to get in there and really just, yeah, play it in. And yeah, you know, the spam on it is got even easier to do. You can just spam this thing, okay, with the chaining and spamming and the knocking and the damage. You know, it's really gonna, you know, lay it in. All right, you know, I'm feeling generous. All right, another one for you, PvP goons. Okay, we've got the Stars of Ruin. Okay, this has got a very high amount of damage and stars that travel at the speed of light. Okay, this is already great in PvP because, you know, it's insanely hard to dodge all of these fast stars coming at you like rapidly. Okay, and you know, make it even better. Okay, they've reduced it from 30. Oh, no. They've reduced it from 50 down to a nice 38 FP. Okay, against bigger targets with larger health. Okay, there is more efficient, you know, damaging weapons for 38 FP cost. Okay, but in PvP, okay, this is going to be one of the best things you can use across the whole game. Okay, something, you know, if you enjoy PvP or want to try out PvP, definitely give this a go. It's going to be really fun, and you know, you're definitely going to ruin some people's days with it. Now, coming in at, well, I don't know how many I've done. You know, I haven't really ranked it in, you know, like worst from best, but in our last spot, okay, we've got the spiral shard, the shard spiral. Okay, this thing was already great for bosses. Okay, and you know, now it's got a reduced, you know, FP cost from 16 to 14. Okay, not much has changed from this, but it's something that I haven't seen used at all. Really underrated, but great for bosses. Okay, ideally you want to go in for big, slower bosses. Okay, just things like dragons, you know, and other things, you know. Insert pictures of big, slow bosses. Okay, one there, one there, one there. One, yeah, I don't know how many I found, but you know, use it on these bosses. Okay, it does an insane amount of damage. Okay, and basically, as long as that spiral keeps rolling through the enemy, it's going to keep dealing damage. Obviously, the bigger the enemy, the funkier it is. Okay, you're going to be doing more damage, and it's insane for the low FP cost. I mean, you can continuously throw these things out, and you're going to deal insane amount of damage. Now, obviously, it's situational. It's not going to be good against all bosses. Okay, and you know, a lot of the bosses in this game are fast moving and smaller, I guess, but you know, in those situations, okay, it's going to be efficient. It's really going to be efficient. So get your hands on this and, you know, try this out. Okay, because it deals a lot of damage, like a lot of damage. And you know, it's that time of the video where you all click off now, and you know, there's probably like 1 or 2 people listening to me, but I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe and liked. Okay, you know, I put a lot of work into this video, getting all of these, you know, new often cool spells for you all to use. So, you know, any support would be much appreciated. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Check out the video on screen. Okay, it's a banger, I'm sure. I put a good one up there. And yeah, see you all very soon.